Discover a rare collection, a timeless legacy. The art of Jayantha Premachandra spanning over 4 decades. Liberté di Jayantha Premachandra.
Newsfirst exclusive.
Art has a way of speaking without words. It carries emotion, it carries history and memory. And art is where the spirit of an artist lives long after the canvas is complete. Hello and welcome to yet another Newsfirst exclusive here with me, Shalani Ratnavira. And today we are ready for a conversation about Liberté di Jayantha Premachandra, an exhibition where we celebrate the spirit of a truly remarkable artist. And with me today are two special guests. They are Professor Osmond Bopearachchi, Emeritus Director of Research at the French National Center for Scientific Research, a world-renowned numismatist, a historian and an archaeologist. Welcome to the show. And also we have Kushan Natapattu, representing the Jayantha Premachandra Foundation, the force behind this event. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Shalini.
So, to begin with, I would like to direct my question to Kushan. Kushan, the Jayantha Premachandra Foundation is not only preserving the memory of a great artist, but also carrying his vision forward. So, tell us a little bit about the foundation.
Yes, Shalini. First, I want to thank TV1 for giving us this opportunity. Coming back to your question, yes, Jayantha Premachandra Foundation was formulated in 2022. We are not just an art circle, but we want to preserve the artistic legacy of the artist, as well as we have a few objectives. If I may go through, we would like to, through our foundation, always engage in acts which are supporting community, social welfare and culture, and also to promote the Sri Lankan artistic legacy in such a way where we can take forward Sri Lanka as a destination with cultural and artistic appreciation, as well as through this exchange to engage with artists and art enthusiasts in rest of the world to build more diplomatic and cultural ties for Sri Lanka. So that's what our foundation stands for. Right.
Moving on to Professor, you go way back with Jayantha Premachandra, if I'm not mistaken. Could you share with us a little bit about your relationship with him and the memories you have?
I think I first met Jayantha in 1986 and about twice in an exhibition where we had a chat. But I never had a chance to see his paintings. The reason was I was just finishing my PhD thesis at the Sorbonne University, and then I went to Harvard University for the postdoc. When I came back, Jayantha has already passed away, and I met Lanka, Jayantha's daughter and the mother, in 1988. Then of course there was a silence, and then all of a sudden I met Lanka on the 14th of July at the Goldface Hotel, where the French government was celebrating the National Day. Then the old memories came back to me. So I have to confess, my love for Jayantha's painting is quite new. I realized that what a great artist he was, because I think we would have some time going through his past and how he became. He died very young at the age of 53. And that was the moment that he was finding his own style. And he was attempting to do the exhibition at UNESCO in April, but the sudden death came to an end. But I know the foundation has done a lot of work exhibiting his memory, his heritage here, and also we need to do it internationally. I think we will talk about it leisurely.
Yeah, sure. So, Kushan, tell me a bit about what the foundation has been involved in your short history of 2 years.
So Shalini, when we started in 2022 itself, we did an exhibition called Revive. It was held at the 1864 Goldface Hotel in Colombo. This was the first time in since 1991, Jayantha's paintings were exhibited in public. So he passed away in 88, and after that exhibition was held posthumously by his daughter Lanka and wife in Paris, and we did this exhibition in Colombo in 2022. After that, the same year we did a charity auction, and that was in collaboration with the Stroke Support Organization for Sri Lanka, SOSL, and we raised some funds for the neuro ward in the National Hospital itself. Then last year May, there was a big exhibition. It was held for 8 days at the JDA Pereira Gallery in Colombo. This exhibition, there were more than 100 pieces of work exhibited, and we had a very special guest, Dr. Alan Lightman, who flew here from the USA. He's a renowned physicist and social entrepreneur. This exhibition, Mr. Jagat Ravindra, who was then the Dean of the university's Visual and Performing Arts area in Colombo, he curated it. And simultaneously we had a book published by the foundation called Art of Jayantha Premachandra, and the preface was by Dr. Lightman itself, and authored by Mr. Jagat Ravindra. Well, we did a few other exhibitions afterwards, and quite recently this year, January, commemorating Jayantha's 90th birth anniversary, there was another exhibition in Colombo, and yeah, those are the works we have done as well.
So that is some great work by the foundation, I would say. I would like to ask Professor Bopearachchi, from your perspective, what does art mean to you personally?
So there is an evolution in his paintings. I mean, in his childhood, he had these typical paintings of Sri Lankan day-to-day life, countryside and all that. I think his first, remarkable paintings were done in Moscow, where he went in 1963, and he was much inspired by the Soviet Impressionism and Socialism of that period. And there is one very nice painting in one of the murals in the People's Bank, and it was, he did it for the inauguration of the bank, and it is there. But after that, he traveled widely. He went to India, most of the European countries, Hungary, Poland, and in 1984 he came to France, where I met him, until he passed away in 1988. So there are the exhibition that, as you said, Kushan, that Professor Jagat Ravindra curated. It's mainly on the French inspiration or French influence on Jayantha's work. Most of his paintings, even before he came to France, he started with what we call the modernism, which was, started as far as the art is concerned by Pablo Picasso, right? So what we call the cubism. So, but when we talk about art, really, there was a period that people tried, many painters, before the invention of the camera, they tried to, create the real image of the people. When the camera was invented, there was no need for it. Then we come to the modernism, that, like Impressionist and the Cubist artist, and also later postmodernism, that is the abstract. So Cubism was something that you can take a photograph of a building, that's only from one angle. The Cubists, what they did was they take everything in different angles. This is the second photograph I selected, where you have the vision of many things, as if you are turning around the object. It can be a person, it can be a building, or it can be a tree. So that he grasped. And what is interesting, we'll talk later, that how he developed this style. He goes on to the Picasso's blue period, and then he developed its own style. I have selected a few a few paintings of Jayantha to show the evolution. I mean, as you said very clearly, Jayantha passed away in 1988. He was almost forgotten, but he was a wonderful artist that who bridged the gap between the 43 group in Sri Lanka and today's postmodernist artists. So if he was alive today, he will be a postmodernist artist, but he was going through that period.
Right, amazing. So this talking about this exhibition,
Yes.
it is more than an art show. It is an experience, I would say. So why was it important for the foundation to bring back these Parisian work of Jayantha Premachandra to Colombo at this moment?
Well, I would say not specifically at this moment, but we got this opportunity and invitation by La Maison Colombo. That's a French boutique hotel in Colombo, and they wanted us to come and have an exhibition. And we are grateful that Mr. Christophe, the CEO and the owner, approached us, because the setup of this building and the environment gives the French culture. It has a taste of the architecture, the rooms as such, as well as the food. So for us, it's as if the days when Jayantha painted in Paris, and most of the work which is on display are done back then. So it's an atmosphere where the guests, the visitors can see some work which our artists did in Paris in a
Experience it in
certain
that way.
environment in Colombo.
Right, okay. So what has been the response from both the Sri Lankan and international enthusiasts?
Well, right now, I mean, are you referring to specifically for the event on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we can host only a very few audience, and we have already got a overwhelming number. And most of the art enthusiasts in Colombo, collectors, and some guests are coming by invitation for the exhibition as well. And I have to mention the collaboration here between us, the Jayantha Premachandra Foundation, and La Maison de Colombo, because when we had this discussion and when we go along with the values which they share, such as being people-oriented, respecting one another, and working with sustainability, it's aligned with our goals as well. So we are happy to do this exhibition.
Very nice to hear that. And Professor, so you've been closely involved in shaping this exhibition, and what do you hope that art enthusiasts will take away from these works? Because all of these pieces, most of them are shown in Sri Lanka for the very first time.
Yes, I mean, we should thank Jagat Ravindra, who really curated the exhibition. So this year, because we are having in this particular place the exhibition, so he thought that we should talk about the French inspiration on his art. As I said, he had Soviet inspiration in other countries. For example, I started the talk with this painting. This is also in advance. If you see Pablo Picasso's clarinet, it has the same type of art, but he goes one step, takes one step forward, and it's a guitar. So the woman becomes the guitar, and it is played by a man behind. So this is how he created. He goes beyond. And what is interesting is when I met Jayantha, he knew all about Paris. And when you look at most of the, not the paintings, these are sketches, pencil drawings that he must have done, white seated, and especially the one on the Panthéon. Panthéon is a very important building in France in the fifth quarter in Paris, which was built during the time of Louis XV by an architect called Soufflot, and it's the road is called Rue Soufflot. Originally, the building was created to for the remains of the patron saint, Saint Genevieve, sorry for French, Saint Genevieve in there. But after the revolution, it became a monument for the national heroes. So, among some of them, Victor Hugo, Voltaire, and many others are there. Now it's no more a church. And so he felt that it's very important to understand the French culture. And also most of the sketches that we have selected, and Ravindra, you have the Bastille, which was the most important building in the French Revolution, where the Bastille was, the prison was. And then there are many sketches of him painting the Paris cafes. We don't have a cafe culture in Sri Lanka. It's very important to understand what the cafe culture means. Even starting from the revolution period, it is a place where people can sit for hours and discuss anything. And about revolution, about socialism, about against socialism. I think Jayantha understood that culture. That's why he has so many sketches, and Jagat Ravindra has selected many of them. So that's a way to pay tribute to him, because he was there 4 years and he was officially considered as an artist. So these things were done there, and if you have time, we'll talk about the other paintings, just to show that he visualized. I can't say, I'm a little bit against the word influence. I would rather call it inspiration from French artists, and especially at later period, he was much inspired by Picasso's Blue period, which is happening at the beginning of the 20th century. We'll talk about it later. Yeah.
Okay, so that is a beautiful way to put it, all the paintings, the history behind it. And Kushan, the foundation has honored Jayantha Premadas's legacy in many ways. Where do you see the journey for the foundation heading next?
Well, before coming to that, I would like to go back in history to 2024, when we had the exhibition at the JDA Gallery, and I did mention about Dr. Alan Lightman's visit to Colombo. So originally in 88 May, Jayantha was invited to Boston, USA by Dr. Lightman for an exhibition. While he was preparing for that exhibition, he was doing another exhibition for UNESCO in Paris. I have the catalog on this on that exhibition, so you can show this later on. But unfortunately, Jayantha passed away in April 1988. So none of these two exhibitions ever happened. Once we found the foundation, one of our dreams is to carry his message and to do these two exhibitions, one in Boston or in the USA, in the Americas, and then to do an exhibition in Paris. So those are the two main goals, I would say, that we would like to do, but that's a long run. There's a lot of work to do to get there. But looking at the relatively short 2 years which we have been working with Jayantha's art, we've got tremendous support, reception, and by all the art enthusiasts who have got in touch with us here as well as globally. So we believe they would continue to support us in doing so. And also in the more recent future, if I would directly answer you, we are looking at doing another charity auction, either end of this year or beginning of next year. That is to raise some funds for the cancer hospital at Maharakana. Something else I forgot to mention, this is the book Art of Jayantha Premachandra. So that was the publication which was authored by Mr. Jagat Ravindra, and the forward prefaced by Dr. Alan Lightman.
All right, okay. So we can definitely expect more exhibitions in the future as well?
Yes, not at very regular intervals, but we would want to carry forward his legacy, mainly because Jayantha is known to be is loved by everyone who he has associated during his time. So we want to carry his message through his work, mainly as a humanitarian effort by the foundation now.
So, Professor, you wanted to talk more about these special paintings by Jayantha Premachandra.
Yes, I mean, in January we had a discussion about his paintings when we were commemorating his 90th birthday at French Alliance, and there, I mean, with Jagat Ramindra, I gave a talk about his whole history, going through the different periods of, I mean, his paintings and also his career, how he became a wonderful artist. This time we are concentrating more on the French inspiration, because it's a French place, of Jayantha's paintings, because that was the place where he spent the last 4 years. Paris has this, as I said, he went to all these places, I mean, cultural monuments, cultural events, and then he was inspired by Picasso, what we call the blue period, that's the early period. Some may not know, when Picasso did these drawings, he was suffering from the poverty. He couldn't sell his paintings. So in his paintings we can see some sort of a depth, sadness, and also all the difficulties he had to undergo. So Jayantha takes it and then created this portrait, I mean this painting, which is absolutely wonderful. This almost like a Picasso's, this is Jayantha's painting, the portrait with the gold necklace. And this one is, you can see a woman crying, and also man behind. We don't know what is going on, but it's also the suffering. It's not Picasso's paintings, these are monochrome blue, sometimes a little bit with green, but they're very sad. Jayantha goes a little beyond that, and this is what we see in his paintings. The most beautiful one, I thought, this painting, where you have the mother and the child. As I started, Shalini, in the discussion, Cubism was it's a modernism, where you don't try to portray a woman with a child, but you can deconstruct it. This is the theory of Hegel, the philosopher, where he constructed, which is related to colonization. When Derrida started the deconstruction theory, which is the decolonization. So you can take the body parts out, and if you look at these paintings, you don't see the really body of a woman. So you can see some parts are taken, you can understand what I say. And also the child, I'm sure that he was painting his wife and the daughter. And also behind it, you have got the same painting I showed you, the sketch, the Ponteon and the monuments. So he does it in a way, he envelopes all the buildings in Paris. And if I summarize Jayantha, I mean, he is one of the wonderful humanists. And also he has a universality in his paintings. This is what I really want people to understand, because he passed away 88, and then I think his wife was here, and Lanka was when I saw her for the last time, I think she was about 15 years old, and now the foundation is done and they are doing wonderful work. I think Sri Lankan community, Sri Lankan art lovers should know about his work. You are, Shalini, you are very young, but I'm old enough to say this, because he started in 1960s, went through the period of 1970s, taken to political, where the Communist Party and the Social, Samaji Party and the Sri Lankan Freedom Party were in power, and that was a period he went to Soviet Union, and he started traveling. He had a wonderful chance of seeing places, and there are some sketches that we'll be exhibiting where he went to Prague, again a cultural center. So he could grasp all these cultures together, and he was creating, this was his last painting before he passed away, and it was meant to be exhibited in UNESCO, unfortunately, where you can see this is what I call Jayantha's art, his style, which is different from all the other painters in Sri Lanka, the 43 groups, and even Jagat Ramindra. So he found his own style. And so there are other paintings of the same period where, you will be exhibiting the foundation, and also we can discuss. So it's very important for Sri Lankans to understand he was a Sri Lankan and product of this country, and he made a wonderful contribution to humanity and the universality. He is a universal artist.
Yeah, it is very interesting to know more about his work and how it's originated and the inspiration behind it. So, Kushan, any final notes on the event that's happening on the 6th?
Yes, so this event also it's curated by Mr. Jagat Ravindra, who is now the Director General of WAPA TV, Visual Arts and Performing TV. And also Professor Osman will be there, and he will be doing a very special tour explaining that, which will be an experience for all the guests. And going back to what Professor mentioned, Jayantha's art, which has evolved over the years, 30 years, we have recorded 45 solo exhibitions done in Europe, UK, Scandinavia, many countries, Iran and Middle East and likewise. But the latest of his art, or I would think the best, is available in this exhibition, because his final pieces of work are here, and it's exhibited here after 35 years or more since it's been created, and it's been actually about 44 years since Jayantha last exhibited in Sri Lanka in 83, 82 that time. Yes. So it will be a great experience for all the visitors.
Yes. So, Liberté di Jayantha Premachandra will be happening on the 6th of September at 6 p.m. at La Maison di Colombo, and it will definitely be a memorable event. So, it has truly been a pleasure speaking with you two, Professor Osman Bopiarachi and Kushan Atapattu. Thank you so much for joining with us. And until next time, thank you for joining us. Take care.